life. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. اللهم نور قلوبنا بنور الإيمان والقرآن والإسلام وبمعرفتك. اللهم استخدمنا في خدمة القرآن والإيمان والإسلام بالسعادة والسلامة والصحة والعافية والإخلاص والصبر والسكينة. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين. Today, inshallah, we are going to start the chronologically 24th revealed chapter of the Quran, which is called Abasa. Just the literal translation of the word is he frowned. He expressed his unpleasure about something. So that is very famous. There is a story behind it. We can talk about this story, but we are not going to concentrate on the story or the historical side of it. We will try to understand the message within our own life, real life conditions. This chapter was revealed very early, on second year of the message. It means after the Prophet Muhammad started receiving the message, 2 years maybe, at the most 3, what the historians say, but 2 years in general, after he started the mission, conveying the message to the people. He had to, because it was his duty to do that. He was employed by it. He was sure that he had to do it, and he will be supported by God, the Creator, who sends the message through him. So the history goes, there was a blind. Okay. Somebody's mic is open. Talu? Yeah. I don't see whose mic is open. Okay. There was a blind man, poor, downtrodden in the society. So the prophet, the messenger of God, was trying to convey the message to the nobles of the community, maybe thinking that if they consent, if they accept the message, it will be more effective, and because of their influence in the society. That's the story goes. And during he was speaking to the nobles of the community, and blind men, of course, historically, maybe he's a blind man, but we will understand in our own terms now who is the blind man. A blind man approached him and asked him to let the newly revealed verses know him. Let him know the newly revealed verses. That is the story side of it. And the prophet said, come on, you stop here now. I'm busy with someone important. That is what they say. This is the occasion of the revelation. That's what they say. It may be so. I don't know. No one can really confirm it. There is no, apart from the revelation, there is no such evidence in front of us. No video recordings, etc., or voice recordings. So only revelations, only narrations about it. People talk about it. How much it is true, I keep my reservations. I cannot say 100%, but this is how it happened historically. That's what they say. Okay, nothing wrong in this event. It may happen. Yeah, it might have happened. Okay, but as far as I am concerned, what shall I do with this news? I'm not speaking to the nobles of the society where I live, and there is no blind man approaching me. And what shall I do? Okay. And I cannot really practice the news I learned from these verses in my practical life. So the first verse says, Abasa wa tawalla. It's a very famous chapter, by the way, especially the first 4 or 5 verses of the chapter is very well known, and it is related to the story. Of course, there is an ethic behind it. So we will learn that he frowned and turned away. Okay, when the blind man approached him. So for me, blind men approached him. He couldn't see the conditions. He couldn't see what the prophet was doing, but he approached him. It means wanted to receive some message, something for him to remember, to learn. So I would ask the question to you, what do you think the blind men represent here? For you, for me, the blind men, Alma. Do you have any idea? You must have something. If at the wrong question, do you have an idea? Definitely you have an idea, but please share us. What do you think the blind man represents for you? Feriha, go ahead.
Unexpected events or something that I did not expect within my planning of something. An unexpected circumstance of something. So for example, if I'm going from point A to point B and suddenly there is a traffic jam, so that becomes my blind man.
Thank you. I think you took it as a physical blindness. Am I wrong? Physical blindness.
Yes, you're wrong. What I'm saying is basically within, so like an unforeseen circumstance of something.
You're muted right now.
Not necessarily that physically blind, but he doesn't know what is going on around him. Yeah? Okay, thank you. That's a good start. Let's go ahead. Efshan?
I think the blind man represents ignorance, just simply not knowing, or some kind of haziness, like a cloud. So if I'm learning a new subject that I've never learned about before, I may initially in a class, I might be confused or lost. Or if I'm around people that are speaking a foreign language, initially there's an ignorance. I don't understand. I don't know what they're talking about. But as I learn the language, there's a clarity. As I learn the subject, I get an opening, and there's clarity. This is my possible interpretation.
That's very helpful, definitely. So when you said ignorance, the blind person represents not ignorance that he has chosen, but that is how he was. It's how he found himself in an ignorant position. Ignorant position. So he didn't know, he didn't see what the truth is, what the reality is. He couldn't understand, but he wanted to understand. He wanted to learn. He accepted his blindness to the reality as what is going on in this universe, in this life. So he wanted to be enlightened. He wanted to see what the reality of life is. So he found that there is a message delivered by the messenger of God, and he found that it may be helpful. Let me go and get more of it, learn from it. So from this person. So it wasn't blindness, wasn't his choice. That is what I can combine with doesn't know what is going on in his environment, and also doesn't know exactly what he needs to know. He must know. So a blind man approached him, but he frowned. He turned away because he thought something else. That's what we are going to discuss more, inshallah. Sorry. So anyone else would like to share his idea? Oh, there are some notes, I think, in the chat box. Let's say, yes, it is innocent. There is no negative connotation here, blindness. H. Beza says, something that requires my attention, something I am in need of addressing. Yeah. So, Feriha, did you want to say something more? Your hand was up. Did you want to add something to what you said?
So I'm still not clear what is a blind man for us then.
Anyone who did not choose to be blind, but was created blind. It means a person who was created in an condition, life condition, in an environment. He couldn't see the truth. He couldn't see the reality. Yeah, I think Betul wanted to. Go ahead, Betul.
I just wanted to say that I think your insight on this was very interesting, and it reminds me of another verse that says, "Are the blind equal to those who see?" And in that verse,
Your voice, Betul, I hardly hear you. Is there any way to get closer to the mic or do something?
can you hear me now?
Almost the same. Try something more.
Sorry, this is as close as I can get to the mic.
You can raise your voice then.
Okay. I guess I just wanted to share that it reminds me of the idea that blindness is beyond physical, and that, you know, the verse where it states that are the blind equal to those who see, it doesn't necessarily refer to a physical blindness, but a blindness in vision or direction in life and where you're going, or in this case, truth. And I think it applies here as like a seeker of truth. Within this context. So I just wanted to respond to what Fari had just asked, because that's my understanding of it.
Somebody wrote, Asifa wrote, it is the state you are in without trying to learn or strive, without choosing. Yeah, I agree. Without choosing to remain blind. But you found yourself in a blind society, if you like, not open to the truth, to reality, as Betul said, without choosing. But of course, this person was trying to be enlightened, to be aware of the reality. So this man approached the prophet in the historical context of the revelation, but we can come here. If a person approaches you thinking that you may be useful, you may give him some useful idea about, of course, about the reality of his life or reality of this existence, then we have to watch out. We have to listen what the following verses will say. So shall we move to the verse 3? Is there an objection? Would you like to say something more about what the blind man or being blind means? Is there any hands or? Yeah, Fariha, go ahead.
So Brother Ali, the way this chapter is starting, he frowned and turned away. So what do I make out of this first verse? As in, I'm turning away from something, I'm frowning, maybe. Like, how are we understanding this in terms of our conditions right now, even starting from the first verse? So like the blind man approached him, okay, it's getting to clarity, but how is this connected to the first verse for me? Like if something upsets me, I frown and I turn away.
Why is the order like that? Yeah, why didn't it start with like starting with the blind man and then he frowned and turned away? I'm also trying to figure that out. Yeah, well, what is my Lord telling me by these first two phrases?
Now, yes, we have to read the verse and second together because the sentence is not complete. So he frowned and turned away when the blind man approached him. But if a person wants to be enlightened, wants to learn, and comes to you, comes to me or comes to you, and if you turn away for any reason, then the following verse 3, if you prefer something else, somebody else, because of the position of the person, one of them is poor, blind, but the other one is, let's say, very intellectual, very influential, maybe influential in science, influential the political influence he has, or somebody may have a higher status in the society and make the preference, because the following verses will explain it, make the preference, this person is the mayor of a mayor of the city, or a professor in some places, maybe a very rich and influential man, and seeing that a blind man accepts his blindness, but may not have that status, but not necessarily that blind man shouldn't have any status at all. But if he doesn't have, then if he doesn't have a higher status, then the third verse helps us to understand, وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ لَعَلَّهُ يَزَّكَّى. But how do you know? Perhaps he would be purified. So because of the following verses will help us understand what is going on here behind the frowning and turning away. We will get the context of the situation now altogether and apply it to our practical life. The third verse says, but how do you know? Perhaps he would be purified. Now, if somebody approaches us for any reason, especially about the meaning of existence, about the purpose of one's life, about what the reality of this world is, especially about these matters. Why I say especially about these matters? Because the concern of the Quran, the message of the Creator, is about these subjects. For example, if someone comes and asks you, please help me with my, I don't know, how to repair my door, or there is something wrong in me. Yeah, it's a kindness, human kindness. We may help this person, but it is not the main concern of the message of the Quran. Because we have to be careful here that someone would be purified. It means what? Purified about what? How do you know? Perhaps he would be purified. Of course, purification, as far as the message of the Quran is concerned, as far as the purpose of the life of the people, the human beings is concerned, purification is what? How do we really understand what purification is within the context of the Quran, Quranic message, or what God asks us to be purified of? From what? I think you have some ideas. I would like to hear you. Feria has her hand up. Okay. Go ahead, Feria. And maybe Feria as well.
Okay, Asim here. So maybe getting to know the truth and accepting the truth, but in the sense, what the sense of the Quran, how he would be purified, realizing what the reality of my existence is, and accepting it, submitting to it.
No, Asim, did you mean realizing the truth about one's life purpose?
Existence, about there's a source behind my existence and accepting it. and submitting to that.
Ready to submit, you mean?
Yes.
Now, if he is sure, if he is enlightened, if he is taught, he is ready to submit to the truth, correct? That is the question.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So, Afshan?
I was gonna say what Asim said. I agree with Asim. I feel like it's to know your human reality. And so the purification is getting this beautiful clarity and not being confused anymore why you are here and what your purpose, the purpose of your existence is.
Brother Ali, you are muted right now.
I'm sorry. Mona has written, it is very interesting. I think it is telling us to be approachable no matter how influential the person can be, or not influential at all. But we have to be approachable to those people who seek guidance, concerning their purpose of life, purpose of existence. That is excellent. Yeah. So I go back to the verse. We should not. How do you know? Perhaps he would be purified. We should not have any prejudice about any people. As long as a person presents himself, approaches us, we should be ready, we should open, we should be approachable. But approach is about what? Of course, for example, in order to argue with us in an argumentative manner, approaching us, we cannot discuss in principle, we cannot discuss any matter related to the reality of existence in an argumentation or argumentative manner. That is why I personally don't like debates, because debates means I am trying to win the opposite side or defeat the opposite side, win my case no matter what. So I am taking an opposition position in order to reject the other part. That is why any belief matter, any matter concerning to reality of our existence cannot be in an argumentative manner. Always we have to be ready to listen to the person. If we understand that this person is open to the truth, seeking the truth, we have to present whatever we believe, and we have to have the same idea, same attitude. If I want to learn the truth, I have to approach the source, the person, the book, or any source, any kind of source, which can be helpful to me. I have to approach it. If someone approaches to me about learning the reality of my existence, which is called purification. Of course, we haven't studied what purification is yet, but we will say about the purification, we will study it. About the purification, we would be open to this person, no matter what the status or the age, gender, race, religious background, whatever it is, ethnic background, whatever it is, we have to be open. One condition, this person should seek purification. Now, purification, it means to be purified here. What is purification? Purifying from what? Of course, it seems to be from wrong idea, but is it only the wrong idea, purification? You must have some ideas, more ideas about purification. What we should purify ourselves of. What do you think? For example, give some examples from your own life. What do you think you should be purified from? Anyone? Do I see any hand? Yeah, Afshan, go ahead, please.
There's many things you can be purified of. You mentioned remove wrong ideas. So this is an example of removing ignorance. Another thing you can be purified of is egoism. So we, maybe in this example, or we can just look at ourselves. We have a certain prejudice against a person that looks a certain way, dresses a certain way, or drives a certain car. It can be anything. So we should try to remove this this problem of egoism. This is another example of something that can be something wrong or dirty that can be cleansed or purified. There may be other things as well.
Definitely there may be. Thank you, Afshan, to start the discussion. Would you like to say something more? Your mic is open.
Oh, I'll close the mic.
Okay. If you like. So anyone else, please? We need to purify ourselves from many things. Come on, try to get more items to be purified in our life. Let me see what is written there. Maha, yeah, okay. Mona said ego, okay. Afshan also mentioned. Maha Nurettin says, one could purify from arrogance, judgmentalism, anger. Perfect. Continue. Perfect. I agree. Thank you. Please come up more. Is there anyone wants to say something more? Yes. Judgmentalism. Yes, we should be open-minded. We should have an open attitude towards everyone. How about one thing? The inherited culture, the culture of the community, the values of the civilization that we are living in, family culture, values that we learn from some other sources. Maybe I would add my assumed inherited religious knowledge from my family background or from my ancestors without really testing them, without questioning them. I might have just accepted them and claimed to be true because my ancestors were great people. They must know what the reality is. What do you think? Do you think we should question all this and then try to purify us? Of course. I'm not saying these are the most important ones. I think the most important one is said by Mona and Afshan: egoistic desires, egoistic expectations, or selfish satisfactions. selfish satisfactions, to impose ourselves on others. We have to be careful about all these elements and try to purify ourselves. So the purpose of the Quran to purify us from all these elements, if you really realize that arrogance in the Quran is frequently referred to as the source of disease, human disease of heart. Competition, looking down at some poor people, maybe uneducated people with a low status in the society. And especially not, that is very important in the Quran, which is mentioned very frequently, not being ready to receive the truth from a socially low level person, but appointed by God. Not that the society assigned a higher status to that person, but it is appointed by God. He is the messenger of the message of God. Most of the people, elite of the society, those people who think the most highly honorable people in the society, rejected the message of the messengers in the Quranic description of this fight between the prophets and their opponents. They say, if God was going to employ somebody, he would be one of the honorable people among us, not an orphan, not a poor shepherd. That's their criterion. And the Quran says they couldn't really put down their arrogance and submit themselves to the message of the messenger, not because they were not happy with the message, but they were not happy with the status of the messenger. There are many examples in the Quran. It's a very interesting point that attracts my attention. There are many examples in the Quran that people oppose the messenger, not because of the content of the message, but because of the status of the messenger. Who are you? You are not one of the nobles of us. This is a very important attitude, human weak point. We shouldn't really look at the status of the person, but we should really take care of the value or the virtue of the message this person presents to us, how much it makes sense to me. How can I use this message in order to purify my egoistic ambitions, self-centric concerns, my arrogance? I think these are, there are many things that I see notes here. Let me. Okay, Mona says, see oneself in a higher rank. A great point. The inherited values, yes, we do inherit, we may inherit, wrong values, but in reality, yes, we do. There are many comments we received that you haven't read, starting, private, I'm receiving this one. Where are they? Abdurrahman and Aisha Nur, I haven't seen their comments. Do you think they are from, I know they are here, Abdurrahman, not from YouTube. Where, I don't know, I don't see them. New message, okay. Let me see. Scroll up, I did. Do you think I'm doing something wrong? Ah, yeah, I see. Thank you very much. Please remind me. Aisha Nur Abdurrahman says, from self-attribution of qualities, I do this, I have the ability for so and so. Yeah, to self-attribution of qualities. I see, I know it because I learned it. So I have a status, or I have a title. I am the expert on this subject. That's very important. And Jabin wrote, jealousy, yes. Mona said, oh, thank you, greediness, oh, many things. Mahanureddin says also worries and anxieties. Oh, they are great points. Thank you very much for reminding me to scroll up. So Afshan says consumerism. Oh, come on, don't touch this point, Afshan. It is very sensitive. Consumerism, the method of shopping. Huh? So yes, I love this. Purify from inherited religious knowledge. It is important. I mean, we have to purify ourselves from inherited religious knowledge. It doesn't mean that we have to be sensitive here. We have to throw everything away. No, we have to question. We have to select what is right, what is wrong. In order to understand what is right, what is wrong within the inherited knowledge, we have to question whether it makes sense or not, whether we can rely on it or not. We have to work, of course. That is what Mahanureddin said. Inherited values are very important to be questioned. Okay, thank you for reminding me what I missed in the list written in the chat. So, we don't know who would like to be purified, but what we have been talking about is interesting. Our concern about purification will be something essential to our existence, to the purpose of our existence. Something essential to the purpose of our existence. I'm repeating. That is what we have to be careful for ourselves as well. I have to purify myself, look for the opportunities, the means, in order to purify myself from these, if you like, stains of selfishness, not unquestioned inherited values, egoistic ideas, egoistic approaches, and influence of the society, the civilization we are living in. And also we have to be concerned more with the desire of the people who would like to purify themselves more. It doesn't mean that if someone asks for some financial help, we shouldn't really take care of it. But the main subject of this chapter is really about the heart of the matter, which is the purpose of our existence. Why do we exist? Of course, we don't exist to eat. We don't exist to have better life conditions. But in order to continue our existence, we need to eat, we we need to have better life conditions, healthy life. I understand this, but the ultimate purpose is not to be healthy only. We need to be healthy in order to purify ourselves from all the diseases, all the problems that are mentioned here by our friends. I have to have a better life conditions in order to purify myself. That is very interesting. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't help people financially or materially, but we have to help people financially, materially, in order to enable them to purify themselves. If someone, this is a very sensitive subject, but please try to understand me. If you have any concern, raise your hand, raise your voice, and speak against me. Now, if we help a person financially, but we are sure, if we are sure, that is important, if we are sure that this person is going to have a better life conditions, but he will waste his life, not utilize it in order to purify himself, then we have to be careful. Look whether this person is likely to purify himself with the facilities that we provided for him or for her. We have to be considerate. Of course, we cannot know for sure, but we have to be considerate, especially in principle. We should be careful about the person or the people we are going to help, that they are not going to waste it. But of course, it is a very general concept. Wasting in what terms? As far as the Quran's concerns are, Quranic subjects are concerned, we have to help people primarily about their most essential need, which is to get to know who he is, who his creator, her creator is, what the purpose of his life is. These are the main needs of the people. We have to be more concerned about this aspect of the problems of the people. More concerned. It doesn't mean that we should never pay attention to the other concerns. Of course, we cannot be judgmental, that is for sure, but at the same time, as far as we can see, we have to use our wisdom to see what the people are going to do with the means that we are providing for them. If it is going to be wasted, if we are sure about it, we should be careful about what we are doing. Now let's go to the verse 4. Or maybe mindful, يذكروا أو يذكروا فتنفعه الذكرى, and the reminder may benefit him. So we don't know whether a person approaches us in order to purify himself, so that we should be open to his approach. It means we should be approachable, as our friend said, but يذكر, he may be mindful, he may remember what the reality of his life, what the reality of his existence is. We have to bear in mind that if this person is going to be mindful at all, and if the reminder may benefit him, because he is approaching us. He is approaching the prophet. It doesn't mean that the people should approach us where we shouldn't approach anyone else. No, we should approach the people in order to be mindful of our reality and try to benefit from them. But if someone approaches us, we have to open up. We have to make ourselves available for these people so that whatever the truth we know, we have to convey it. Sorry. Okay. Now, there is a verse. I think this verse is important to understand what we have been talking about. This is from chapter 6, chapter An'am, verse 52. So the verse clearly states that, the translation, do not drive away those that call on their Lord morning and evening, seeking only to gain his favor, his face, the literal translation. You are in no way accountable for them, nor are they in any way accountable for you. If you dismiss them, you shall yourself become a wrongdoer. Now, what does it mean in the context of this verse and related to the verse we are reading now? An blind man is approaching us. The main message I understood from this verse, that those people who are doing something, calling on their Lord morning and evening, who are doing something, but the ultimate purpose of the action is seeking only to gain his favor. It means the favor of the Creator, God, his favor. Yuridune wajhahu. This verse, wajhahu, is used very frequently in the Quran, which is very important, actually, the face, his face. No, let's understand this gaining his favor, or seeking, yuridune, seeking, desiring his favor. The word, literal meaning of the word is wajh. For example, if you want to speak to somebody, what do? Let's understand this word, this verse, but the heart of the verse is wajh, favor. It's translated as favor, or literal translation is face of God, favor of God. If you want to speak to somebody, what do you say? Somebody please answer. Somebody is going and you want to ask something. What do you say to him? Please, someone? To him or her, what do you say? Yes, Afshan?
You say, excuse me?
What do you mean by excuse me?
I just try to get their attention.
Get the attention. Got it? So when, thank you very much for this communication. So in order to gain the attention of the person, you do something. And this text says here, those people who call on their Lord morning and evening, it means they are saying, excuse me, God, excuse me, God. It means trying to get the attention of God. So there is something written. Let me read in the chat box. Julia said, Julila, I'm sorry if I'm, pardon. Yeah, pardon, okay. Thank you, the same thing. Excuse me in English, yes. All right, thank you. And then when the person hears that you said, excuse me or pardon, And what do you expect of this person to do? Anyone? Please, go ahead.
The person would pay attention to you, listen to you, or see what is it that you want.
Now, but physically, what does he do if the person
He turns towards you. He turns.
turns towards you, turns his face towards you? Yes?
Yes.
That is what exactly the verse in the Quran, wajhullah, in other verses, this expression, the face of God is required, is sought. When we call on our Creator, it means يدعون ربهم. يدعو, to call on, it means you are familiar with the word dua, comes from this verse. Making dua, supplication, invocation, calling on God, calling on God. When you do it, what are you doing? It is a beautiful communication with your Creator. Excuse me, God, look at me. Turn your face to me. It means, for example, if you are angry with somebody, what do? You turn your face away from him. In order to gain the favor of that person, what do? You try to make this person turn his face to you in a smiling way, happy way, pleasant way. That's what the dua is, a call on our Lord, our God, in order to make his face turn to us. It means to be ready to receive what I am going to ask from him. To receive what I am going to ask from him. That is, yuriduna wajhahu. So if a person is trying to communicate with the Creator, now the Quran says, don't drive away those people. It means we have to look for the people who are trying to communicate with their Creator and they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to improve their position before their Creator. They don't know how to get to know their Creator, their God, better. And they are asking for help from anyone, from you, if it is the case. Then God says, don't drive away because of their social status, whatever, ignorant or being not very well educated or not an honorable person in the society, etc., etc. All these things that we have talked about. So we have to be careful to be approachable to these people. But at the same time, we should know that you are in no way accountable for them, nor are they in any way accountable for you. Now, not because I am really accountable for them, I'm responsible for them, and not because they are responsible for me, but one thing is very important. If you dismiss them, you shall yourself become a wrongdoer. It means not because you have to do for any reason, but we should never dismiss them. If anybody asks us for any help, especially help about the concerns of the Quran, it means how to get closer to God, how to prepare myself for the end of my life, how to get ready to give an account to my Creator, especially at the end of my life. I am given life here by my Creator, and I am taking away. I am taken away. I will be taken away from this world when I die by the same Creator. It means I came from my Creator. I will go back to my Creator. So I will be accountable for my life here, all the favors I received from my Creator, and also all the favors I received within my own existence, within my own being, Sorry, I did a mistake. Okay. Within my own being, all my senses, all my human qualities, what I have done with them, how much I have utilized them. I will be accountable for it. I must be accountable for it. This life is not a joke. This life is not for a trivial matter. It is a very serious matter. Everything is so perfectly arranged, and I am also so perfectly adjusted to my environment. And I am also given so precious qualities in order to utilize all these favors of my Creator. Do you think my existence, my life has no purpose? Everything is working in this world for a purpose, fulfilling a duty. There is a purpose of the sun out there, the moon out there, the stars out there, the day and night, the rotating of the earth, spinning of the earth around itself and around the sun, and the seasons, etc. They all have purposes. Do you think human beings should not have any purpose? Does it make sense at all? The purpose is waiting for us. Here, we have to train ourselves in order to appreciate the value of our Creator, the favors of our Creator, and get ready to give the account of all this trust, all these favors trusted in my existence. I have to give account about them to my Creator, and I have to be able to give a good account saying that I have utilized them, I haven't wasted them. Or it is a big, big responsibility. So everybody is accountable for himself, but also my responsibility is I should not dismiss anyone who wants to attract the face of the Creator. It means communicate with him. It means acknowledge him and respond back to him, saying, I have received this and this and this bounties today from you. I acknowledge it. I am grateful for it. I utilized it, and I am thankful for it. I want to present my grace to you. That is how we should be very careful about those people who want to be successful in fulfilling the purpose of their existence. If we dismiss them, then we should become wrongdoers. We will become wrongdoers. So we have to be very careful. So the verse is saying, it's a very, very strong word. فَتَكُونَ مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. Zalimin, transgressors, wrongdoers. It's a very, very dangerous word, actually. So this verse explains, somehow is helpful to understand this one. We should not frown, and we should not turn away from anyone who wants to be enlightened. Now, we don't know who deserves to be guided, to be purified, and we don't know who is going to be more mindful, and we don't know who the reminder may be beneficial. We don't know. So we have to be open-minded to anyone who approaches us as far as the content of the Quranic message is concerned. I'm saying this especially because this is the most important matter. Okay, there are things written. Okay, Feriha says stop and listen to you. Yeah, I think the previous question is answered. I never thought I'd dua that way. Yes, in order to attract I think in this way, make prayers, dua in this way. So we have to, yes, very beautiful indeed, Asifa said. And Mona said, may Almighty Allah bless you. Every one of us, inshallah. Farah says, Jazakallah khair, I need to leave, but looking forward to listening to the rest of the youth. Whatever, Farah, I understand. H. Beza says, Afshan has her hand up. I haven't seen it. Afshan, before it is too late, please go ahead.
You answered my question. Thank you.
Remind me your question and answer. What we have been talking about. What was the question? That's why I wonder, what was the question?
Well, I was curious because typically people, I'm not a religious teacher, so typically people don't approach me to learn about matters regarding their existence or belief. So, I mean, I understand theoretically if anyone were to ask me, I should not turn them away, but it's not something that usually happens for me. This is my concern.
I believe this is a very, very crucial problem of our age. I was happy that I insisted to raise your question, to ask your question. But it wasn't a question, actually. It was a statement which describes the reality of our life. Not many people, I don't know if I am wrong, please correct me. Not many people approach the other in order to teach what the truth of our reality, truth of our life is, the reality of this world is. But they can approach you for financial help. They can approach you to help them to find a good job. They can approach you to help them for their health. But unfortunately, it is not very common that people approach each other in order to learn the truth. And especially even about religious subjects. What we want, not what we need in reality that we should learn, but what we would like to hear concerning any religious subject. That is something interesting. Please try to understand me because of my explaining the things are not very clear. I know I'm messing up with the language, but I'll try my best. The people approach you to hear what they want, not what they need in reality. People decide, this is the disease of the civilization. This is the disease of secular culture. Egocentric concerns. What does it mean? I want a religion like this. So please teach me the religion the way I want it. Do you understand? Even if it is religion, but not many people really seek religion, but at the same time, religious advice, but at the same time, people, because of this influence, because of the influence of this civilization, secularist, self-centric, egocentric civilization, self-confidence civilization, people don't want to hear their mistakes. People don't want to hear how they must be taught. Only they want what they like to be taught, not what they need in reality. Because they say they need to learn religion from this perspective, which they decide themselves. That is the age. I don't think I made this point clear. If anybody helps me, what they understood from this and put it in a better language, I would be very happy. Do you think somebody helped me in this case?
I think your remarks were pretty clear and I agree with them.
Look, can you repeat it with your beautiful language, not my confused language?
No, I said you expressed it very well. It made sense.
Can you repeat it? Put in
Oh,
your
can I repeat it? Yes, that people they want to hear, really just have their own opinions confirmed. This is what I understood.
Yeah,
Not
that's a very good
necessarily what they
explanation.
need.
Go ahead, please. Sorry.
I thought you explained it well. I feel like people want to hear what, not necessarily what they need, but they want, I guess, to be confirmed or validated, even if, but it's not important to validate people. It's important to fulfill the human need, even if it's a difficult path and difficult to understand.
Very well said. People usually in this civilization, I'm not saying everybody, no, this civilization imposes on the people that you should wait for the confirmation, validation, as you said, of their own opinion. They want to be applauded. And even in religious matters also, I will give you the mic, Asifa, please be patient. Even if it is religious matter, they want to hear the religious matter from their point of view. Not, for example, they may, if you say you are being egoistic in trying to understand the Quranic message, for example, or maybe in other religion, a biblical message, an egocentric concern, they don't accept it because of this disease of this civilization. Okay, Asifa, I should stop here. It's a very sensitive subject. Go ahead, Asifa.
Okay, I just wanted to add that, yes, you definitely explained everything very well. But on the other side, I was also understanding reason being why people do not approach regarding getting knowledge of the truth is because They fear that they will hear otherwise, which would be against their comfort zone. And and that goes back to your point where you say they feel they want to live the way they have felt comfort in. So that really that brings the issue into the civilization where nobody's approaching anyone to seek the truth. So each individual want to have their own way of living, lifestyle, customized according to, I would say, their desire. I won't say necessarily their need, but their own desires.
I think you mean also they need this civilization, self-centered civilization, always wants to hear justification of one's own approach, one's own opinion, idea, whatever, belief, religion. For example, if I am a Muslim, if somebody says something in favor of Islam, I will be very happy. I don't really pay attention to whether this person is saying some good words for Islam, but does it make sense? But just says Islam is a religion, perfect religion. What is the evidence? Our religion is the best. What is the evidence? And we say, you know, Muslims must be proud of their religion. We start, Allahu Akbar. God is great, perfect. Why? Why do you say that Islam is the most perfect religion? What is your evidence? Why don't you tell me your reasoning which made you come to the conclusion that Islam is a really good religion or makes sense to human beings? No, everybody wants to hear that his opinion is justified. His opinion is confirmed. That's what is the problem, what the problem of this civilization, secular civilization is all about. Unfortunately, I may be affected by it as well. I may like to hear what I have is the correct one, the best one, rather than what I have is really true or not by demonstrating with the evidence, confirming it with the evidence, rather than just appraising it with no evidence. Unfortunately, this is a problem of this age, especially of this age. Okay, let's go here. Mona. Suhail wrote something. Afshan, I tried to tell my, okay, there are something more. Okay, Afshan said, I try to tell my family about the things we learn. I know they need it desperately, but they are resistant. Then I leave it alone. But that's something else. Yeah, we cannot force. We are talking about those people who approach us, and also we are talking about we should approach any means, any person, any book, any means, maybe a YouTube channel or anything, in order to not feel great about my own idea, own religion, own opinion, my own opinion, but what the truth is, to purify myself from my prejudices, from my biases. That's it. H. Beza says, and that is a bias. I need to purify myself. Oh, yeah, that's a bias. I think you wrote it, this. Yes, that's a bias. If I want to hear confirming, justifying myself, I am wrong. That is my responsibility. Mona says, modern life makes people superficial, looking for instant gratification. Perfectly put. Yes, that is what the civilization imposes us, instant gratification. Mahanureddin says, it is more a problem of bias rather than opinion, like friends said about. Okay, because really, why not confirm one's own? Should we live by other folks' views like sheep or no? But Maha, my friend, my sister, my friend, I respect her, I respect you more, but we are not talking about following others' ideas. We are talking about looking for confirmation of my own idea rather than making my own idea better, whether it is correct or not. Help me with evidence. Consolidate it, give me more evidence if it is true, but rather than justification of my own ideas. I mean, we should look for purification. Even my idea, no one is right. No one can claim that my idea is perfect. I cannot claim it. My idea is perfect. What I should do now, rather than follow other people, but ask other people to enhance the value of my ideas by bringing more evidence, rather than just really applauding and how do you say, flattering me because I am a great man, because I have some truth in my mind or in my knowledge or in my religion, in my ideas. There is a fine difference between following other people or asking other people to enhance my position if it is right, or if I am wrong, to correct me. I must be open for correction. I must be open to hear if there is a mistake in my attitude, in my understanding of even my religion. I must be open to listen to. I must be approachable by other people if they need my help. I must be approachable also to be reminded, to be warned if I am wrong. I must present myself, please, my brother, my sister, or whatever, whoever he is, my friend, tell me if I am holding a wrong idea. I must be approachable in this matter as well, on my side, for correcting my own mistakes, maybe improving my own shortcomings in my understanding. But we have to be careful. That is what I say. It doesn't mean that I should just follow other people's ideas, never have any self-confidence. No, self-confidence, but in one sense, yes, I must have self-confidence within myself so that if someone corrects me, I will be happy with it. Not a weak personality that I should react. So I should be open for corrections, for improvements. That's what I can say about this, about your beautiful a comment. So Mona, it's a good point that it is clarifying the matter. Mona says self-confidence, but not self-perfection or self-named perfection. If you agree with me. Yeah. Okay. H. Beza says private message to you. Skipped one comment right before my comment. Okay. One thing I missed again. Suhail Dar said, you are looking for an answer that confirms your own biases. Yeah, that was the subject we have been talking. Thank you, Suhail, putting it perfectly in a concise way. I appreciate it. Thank you. Now, let me, we have 1 minute. Okay, sorry. Now, inshallah, what's going on here? All right. Inshallah, next week, we will start from the verse 5. As for him, who thinks himself self-sufficient, istaghna. Istaghna is a very important word. We touched upon it, but if someone approaches, it doesn't approach me, self-sufficient people wouldn't approach me, I would try to approach him. But if he has this attitude, what shall I do now? Then inshallah, this will be the starting discussion next week. Afshan said, yeah, thank you. Thanks everyone. I enjoyed this beautiful talk. It means the time is up. Afshan, thank you. I got the message. Thank you very much. Inshallah, we will start from the verse 5 next week, and we will try to relate it to our own case now, real case, real life cases. Alhamdulillah, I benefited from your comments today and helped me understand better the verses. Alhamdulillah, I am very thankful for any of you who said anything or who was present here. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Inshallah, I'll see you next Saturday and next Sunday, Monday, inshallah. Thank you very much. And
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Alaikum assalam. So please pay attention to this word. In Arabic, istighna is translated into English, self-sufficient. The people who feel self-sufficient. Maybe I may feel self-sufficient. What does it mean, feeling self-sufficient? And the implications of it, please try to concentrate on it and come up with your ideas next week. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And thank you for everyone who joined us today. Assalamu alaikum.